Have you heard the story about the dolls? No? Well, come here and get comfortable. B.L. Norris has a story for you.
Bedlam Audio presents the Dolly tapes from B.L. Norris's Dolly Nightmare, Doll Universe. Episode 2, Fever. Stephen Messer again. If anyone's listening, this is what happened after Lila came home. This is what happened before everything got worse. Chrissy went downhill fast. I mean, fast in a way that doctors don't call fast. They call it progression, or infection, or failure to respond, I call it, the week the doll learned how to breathe on its own. You remember in tape 1, I said she smiled when she got it, the doll. She'd smiled and hugged me like I was the best dad in the world. For 3 days, that's what we kept living on. The thought that her happiness, that doll, would help her stay with us just a little bit longer, even one day longer. Then the first fever hit. I took her to the clinic. They put her on a bed we couldn't afford. I sat beside her day and night. I recorded her. I keep that clip. I'll play it in a minute. Something happened at the clinic. The nurse said, "It's just a flare. Return to oncology." The oncologist frowned and ordered tests. Intestine counts, white blood counts, stuff I can't say without feeling sick. They told me to keep her cool, keep liquids down, give acetaminophen. I watched the little life inside her shrink like an old photograph in the sun.
Shrink like an old photograph in the sun.
It was like something was sucking the life out of her from the inside out.
Lila says the dark is soft, Daddy. She says it likes my inside.
She's saying things like that now. Little phrases that don't make sense. Things you don't teach a 7-year-old to say. She used to talk about cartoons. Now it's that line. And the water. I can't get it down her fast enough. Gallons. Gallons of water, and yet she sweats it out as soon as I get it in her. I was afraid so much water would damage her kidneys, but the doctors assured me that Chrissy was suffering from dehydration. It was as if something was soaking up the water, like a fucking sponge. They said it was her chemo. They said chemo makes kids say strange things, hallucinate, dream weird. I wanted to believe them. I needed to believe them. But then the bleeding started. Not big bleeds, tiny, like pinholes, nose, gums. Once, when she coughed, a thread of red came up and onto her pillow like ink. It looked unnatural, thick, sticky. It smelled wrong, metallic and sweet. It wasn't just blood. I told the doctor. He asked if we'd been around any toxins. He asked about heavy metals. I said no. I said we had a doll. He didn't laugh. I looked inside Lila again. I recorded that too. I told myself I'd prove something. I wanted to find a serial number mismatch, some sloppy assembly error. The Toyworks makes a lot of junk. Sometimes it's glue, sometimes it's electronics. But this... There was a seam behind the neck, right where the speaker sits. The plastic was tighter than it should have been, and when I parted that seam, there was a membrane, thin and clear, and beneath that, threads, not wires. Threads like a skin graft. I thought maybe the factory used some kind of soft polymer, but the material squirmed. Touched it. It twitched like it had a pulse. I swallowed and pulled my finger away. My finger came back with a slick substance on it, clear as jelly and cold. I wiped it on my jeans and the smear. It left a red tint. Not from me. Not from anything in the kitchen. It had its own color. I kept samples. I kept too much. I'm an idiot. Chrissy's fever spiked that night. She burned the kind of heat that makes your palms ache when you touch her. Claire, my Claire, she sat and she held Lila and hummed. She hummed the doll's lullaby. That's when the first conversation happened. One night, Claire told the doll that it had to leave. I heard her whisper. She didn't mean to. She said, "Please go." The way she said it, I swear, I can still hear it. She was begging. I crawled back into my bedroom and I listened through the crack. The baby monitor makes noises, static, the neighborhood. But into that static I heard it, not a human voice. Not entirely. A series of small clicks in a child's tune. Then Chrissy whispered,
It needs something from me.
When I opened the door, Claire was rocking and Lila was on Chrissy's chest and Chrissy was asleep. She wasn't warm like before. Her skin felt like paper. Claire kissed her forehead and looked up at me, eyes glassy, and said, At 3 in the morning, the monitors went flat for a second. Just a hiccup. The nurse rushed in, checked, she left. Then the monitor that measures breathing, the little green line, it made a kind of staccato wobble, then resumed. The nurse said it was artifact, a false alarm. We brought Chrissy home. They said there was nothing else they could do. A consultant suggested hospice. There's a pattern with these dolls, I have to say. I've seen returns at the plant. Not a lot, but enough.
It's running smooth.
So far. These dolls give me the creeps, though.
Boxes marked recall that never left the floor, I told my supervisor. But Lou says management would kill for a quiet recall. They protect their numbers. They protect their runs. People at Toyworks talk about batch variances and legacy vendors. There's even talk of shipments going missing to Bedlam scrap dealers.
You know the name Matcha?
They found his car splattered with blood, and the only thing left of him was bones. Bones picked clean without an ounce of fucking flesh and stacked together, one on top of the other, like some fucking ritual. But the town does not talk about that. At least, not out loud. Not yet.
It's cold in my ears.
On paper, we were doing everything right. We did the meds, the morphine, the little things the hospice nurse recommended. But Chrissy kept getting paler. 2 nights ago, she vomited, and it wasn't just bile. It was this thick red-black gel. The nurse took a sample and said,
This isn't normal.
She put it in a tube and labeled it. I asked for a copy. They told me I couldn't have it. Why wouldn't they let me have it? I didn't know at the time. I tried to remove Lila. I put her in the trunk of my car and drove out to the old quarry and I threw her in. Plastic on plastic. The toy tinkled like a child's bell as it hit the water.
Sleep tight, you little nightmare.
I came home thinking that was the end. Morning came, and there she was, on Chrissy's bed. Dry as if she'd never been anywhere near the quarry. Wet footprints led from the window to the bed. Claire told me I was being cruel. She said,
You think you can throw her away?
She wouldn't let me touch the doll after that. I lost my job. Lou said I was not reliable anymore. Management told me to be grateful. They said, We have recalls to manage, Messer. Don't make waves. I went home, and I cried, and Chrissy asked me,
Daddy, are the dolls sad?
I kissed her and whispered, No, baby, they aren't sad, I said. I wanted to tell her that they were evil. I don't know why I'm recording this. Maybe in case I forget. Maybe in case the police come and they want proof that I tried. Maybe because if I don't say it out loud, I'll forget what it felt like to be a father. I want a voice to tell the story of a man who did one wrong thing for the love of his daughter and then watched his world collapse. Claire slept in Chrissy's bed 3 nights ago. She held Lila like a baby. I felt as if I'd been slowly squeezed out of my own family. Tonight, the fever came back worse. They called it septic. They called it systemic. I'm losing my little girl. Chrissy coughed again. The sound was like bones scraping. I really thought I could keep her. She looked up at Lila and smiled, the way kids do before they forget how to be kids. She whispered,
It's warm.
and then she closed her eyes. I will keep recording. You've been listening to the Dolly tapes. Please like and follow for more. And pre-order B.L. Norris's Afterland Desolate, now available for pre-order on Amazon.